Okay, in this video we'll have a look at setting up your keyboard or any other MIDI controller to use with N-Track Studio. We'll first of all talk a little about what is a MIDI track, since so far we've been covering audio tracks. And clearly a MIDI track is different than an audio track. Whereas audio tracks store audio material, MIDI tracks store events and event data, which is then used to control another software component, usually a virtual instrument. So a MIDI track can store data about triggered notes, velocity values, and other parameter events, and then uses this data to trigger notes or control parameters on the assigned software instrument. So these MIDI events can also be written or recorded using an external controller, such as this MIDI keyboard. In N-Track then, MIDI tracks will host our MIDI notes and events, and instrument tracks will host the actual virtual instrument that we wish to control via MIDI. So let's take a look at how to get our MIDI controller connected and how to assign it inside N-Track to an instrument channel so that we can play virtual instruments. To connect your MIDI controller to your computer, plug this square side of the USB cable into the controller. Then plug the other side of the USB cable into your Mac or PC. Now launch N-Track Studio. N-Track should detect your MIDI device automatically and will ask you whether you want to use it and make it the default device. You can now add your first MIDI track using the quick control right here on the timeline. Also, make sure that all channels or your MIDI device are selected as your MIDI input. You can now assign the MIDI track to a virtual instrument that you can select by clicking on the output slot on the track's colored bar here. As you can see, the virtual instrument's interface will appear, which you can naturally also close if it gets in the way. To reopen the interface, you can click on the instrument's name in the track's instrument panel on the relative mixer stripe. We can now play the virtual instrument from our MIDI keyboard. You can now start writing a MIDI part by clicking the record button and playing a sequence on your keyboard. You can also choose to manually write your part by inserting MIDI notes in the piano roll editor, where you can also edit the MIDI parts you made previously. To open the piano roll, double-click on a MIDI part. Here you can move, delete, cut, copy or paste the notes, as well as change the note's velocity. For those newer to working with MIDI, velocity represents the strength with which the notes were pressed. Although this depends on the software instrument you are playing, higher velocities usually result in sounds with a higher volume and a higher harmonic content than sounds triggered with lower velocities.